Following the collision with the iceberg, the Titanic is known to have sunk by the head, split in parts, and sank in the early hours of April 15. One of the most contentious issues regarding how the lights acted during the ship's final moments is how they changed through the course of time. Some others stated the lights were still on, some said they were completely out, and some said nothing at all had happened to the lights. This short documentary will go over how the lights operated as the ship sank and illustrate what the survivors actually witnessed as the ship went completely dark and during its final moments. One of the most controversial topics today, along with the ship sinking, is the lights during the sinking. Nobody really knows how the lights functioned while the ship was taking its final plunge. We must examine what the survivors claim to have seen if we are to understand how the ship's lights function and behave. The broad consensus regarding this behavior or the behavior of the lights during the sinking is that they were known to have persisted for a considerable amount of time. However, this is offset by how the lights actually behaved or functioned, which will be covered later in the video, but first beginning with the survivors who make reference to the lights and how and what they saw. These statements demonstrate how the lights behaved as the ship sank. While the majority stated that they all went out, some claimed they remained on. However, we must first understand how the lights behaved just before they fully went out. Since it is well known that the Titanic was losing steam gradually as it sank, the lights would gradually get darker and dimmer as the ship went down, giving the appearance that the light was turning from yellow to a dark or dim orange, or even a flame-like orange type of glow. Here are a few survivor accounts who stated that the lights went from the regular color down to the fiery orange-like glow as the ship began to sink more. The claims of lights remaining after the breakup and until the end of the sinking. Here are a few helpful eyewitness accounts that claim that the lights lasted the sinking. These accounts definitely have flaws because they don't accurately reflect how the RMS Titanic was designed, particularly with the lights and steam pipes. When the team behind the historical video game Titanic Honor and Glory's channel posted a final plunge video showing the ship splitting in half, with the lights turning back on as the stern started to settle, the idea of the emergency lights became widely known, and as claimed quickly became general knowledge. The lights wouldn't behave in this manner, even though the electricity and mechanical systems of the Titanic weren't built or designed in the same manner. The idea that the lights flickered before entirely turning off has also gained popularity, although this is false because the lights never behave in such a manner. Why? As it relates to the ship's design in terms of its electricity and power. The ship was powered by a network of pipes that connected to boilers that burnt an unending supply of coal that was continuously fed by coal workers by the 6 boiler rooms that was located all around the ship from the forward to nearly the aft end, and then was run to a specific part of the ship to power certain decks and rooms. These pipes are crucial for the ship's electrical system as well as its movements as it travels or sails across the ocean. To power specific lines, the pipes are connected to and run around the ship. According to this concept, cutting off the pipes would result in a steam leaking, which would cause the ship to rapidly run out of steam power, which, without power or source of steam, there would be no lights, leaving the ship completely in darkness. The D-deck generators and the steam engines. The so-called emergency lights were also allegedly generated by the so-called D-deck generators. They were also said to have been turned on by steam powering the back end for a considerable period of time before the lights dimmed to complete darkness. Knowing how the steam pipes behave now makes this idea that they were completely irrelevant, right? These generators were also powered by the same way the lights around the ship were powered, via steam pipes from the boilers. They quickly slow down once the fuel supply to the engine cylinders is stopped. The Titanic has 29 boilers in total, which are driven by coal-fed firemen who continuously dump coal into the fire inside the boilers. To speak about how the steam pipes function, basically, the steam pipes are attached to the boilers. The boilers inside have water which converts it to steam, and the pipes running from the uptakes going then toward the engine room. In the engine room, there which are cylinders are inside of them, and pistons that drive and create the energy needed for the Titanic's electricity and power. Then it drives a motor that allows the Titanic to move its 3-bladed propellers on each side, including the middle one. The water inside the boilers turn into steam. However, there is a separate room for the ship's electricity at the very end of the vessel. Steam is still used here before being converted to power, which then builds and generates energy for the ship. The generators behave similarly. When the steam stops lowering them or moving them, they will slow down quickly as the pipes breaking. In the events of Titanic's breakup, the power or lighting would start to spiral downward as the steam quickly escapes, and they would stop in a few seconds, causing electricity to follow or go off before dimming completely to darkness. The emergency generators and the main generators of the Titanic are both essentially powered the same way. With the steam entering it and pushing the pistons up and down, it is unable to store energy like a battery. Additionally, the pistons require continuous steam to maintain power. The steam flowing through the pipes is sufficient to keep the boilers running even in the stop scenario for about a couple of minutes. Only when it is necessary to properly detach and stop the engines from the main steam lines, followed by the boilers continuing to operate, do they engage in a stop scenario. Though when the ship sinks or the Titanic itself breaks in half, the connection between the boilers and the generators is severed, and all of the steam will quickly escape, damaging the pipes, which will cause leaving the generators to quickly spiral downwards, losing all power and steam at once, leaving the ship into darkness. The oil lamps. When the Titanic sank and break in half, the connection between the boilers and the generators is severed, and all the steam will quickly escape the damaging pipe, leaving the generators to quickly spiral down. Although it is possible that someone placed an oil lamp by the aft mast or the pole by the poop deck, as claimed by the following testimonies, this can help to explain what the light that was left on board might have been. Although there are a number of oil lamps inside the Titanic, it is unlikely that the survivors saw them because they were hidden away in the lower and upper decks and the corridors of the ship. Since the ship's lights have been dimming since 2 a.m., the idea of using oil lamps may have been plausible. Someone may have taken the initiative to start mounting lamps on the ship's mast or stern as a result. Whatever those lights were, they would always remain a mystery, with only rumors spreading about them. And to sum up, what actually happened was that the ship was completely plunged into darkness, simply. And if there were any lights left, it would have been the oil lamps attached to the mast or the poles by the stern that triggered what the survivors believed to be lights returning or regaining power.